Over the past 75 years, more than 10,000 chemicals have entered our food supply, but the EU allows just 300 additives. At Thrive Market, we prioritize quality, banning over 1,000 ingredients found in conventional grocery stores. Our Healthy Swap scanner helps you find better versions of your pantry essentials without the junk, dyes, or fillers, and everything is delivered right to your doorstep. So shop at a grocery store that actually cares about your health at thrivemarket.com/get-started for 30% off your first order and a free $60 gift.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump from the deep end of the pool, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
But that, hey, no, yo, that was a banger.
Those are bangers. Can't lie.
All right. The mainstream media is the driver of misinformation. Testicles 1, 2, testicles. Welcome back to Paranoid Radio Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Trebles Garcia, the humble host of this amazing adventure, and I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Why am I so excited? Because this is an emergency broadcast brought to you all the way from New York. Before anything, I want to remind you that word of mouth is the most important thing that you can do for the show. Check us out at paranoidradio.com. Got about 15% off on your next purchase using Paranoid on Flavors of the Forest. What it is, you're asking? It is garlic dust grown by Bigfoot himself in the backwoods of Oregon and Washington. Make sure you check out Flavors of the Forest on paranoidradio.com and drop a 5-star review of a podcast that allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. All right. Guys, shit's popping off. Striking with iron is hot. Jumping in for the dipping on the pool. Please allow me to introduce my deep state correspondent, Patriot Father. He is no stranger to Paranoid Radio Podcast. Please give a warm welcome to Flash_News 1. What's up, big dog?
What's up, everybody? I think I might move the show downstairs, bro. Actually, hold on. You know what? I think sorry, bro.
Take your time, man.
Might have to do that again, bro.
Happy New Year to every single one of you out there. I'm trying to make sure that there is no dead silence here. I want you guys to stay tuned because we have a lot of information to go through. And Flash is back with revenge. Happy New Year, Flash. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, I'm ready, man. I was just going to bring the show downstairs, but I think we're good.
Boom. How you doing, big dog? What's up with you, dog? How you doing?
Yeah, man. Everything's good. Busy time of year for me over at the deli. But we're getting it, bro. You know, we got to keep our head in the game, but keep our eye on what's going on, you know, because there's a lot going on.
He identifies as a conspiracy theorist. Let him know where they can find you, Flash.
I'm over on Instagram, barely, though. I mean, my account is so restricted. It's crazy, bro. Flashy_News1, and then True Social, Flashy_Truth. Let's get it.
All right, let's fucking get it. I'm pulling out my notes here. Give me one memento. You have a lot to talk about, Flash. Dude, is it me, though? I really lose my notes here. Holy fuckaboo. What up, guys? Hang tight. Hang on tight. Yo, everybody's feeling the freaking dangers. It's the fog is weird. The feeling is weird. The times are weird. We're about to come into a cold vortex. All more than 40 states are going to feel this stuff, but that's not all. It's the 3rd of January. We're dropping this episode hot. And please, Flash, let them know the New Year's terror. What the fuck is going on, bro?
I mean, unfortunately, we predicted this right on this show many, many times. We've been talking about it for the last 8 months at least, that, you know, this is the most dangerous time in our country's period and that we were going to start seeing terrorist attacks starting January 1st. This is punishment for voting for Donald Trump. You know, this is just more evidence to suggest that Donald Trump is not part of the crew, is not part of the club, because if they were, they wouldn't be fucking hitting us with terrorist attacks because they're so angry and in panic mode. If they were in control, they would just be in control, right? And, you know, and the more, at first it looked like what they told us, right? This guy, Army vet, we'll talk about the one in in New Orleans first. Yeah. He was an Army vet, you know, he's an American citizen, been here for his whole life, was born here. And it looked like he got radicalized and, you know, at Fort Bragg right? This is going to be a common theme in this episode. Fort Bragg, you're going to hear that a lot because we're hearing that a lot in all of these little things that pop up, right? All these little conspiracies, dead people dying for no reason over there, people suiciding themselves, and being found with 12 stab wounds, but called it a suicide. Like, this is like Fort Bragg is like, just go Google Fort Bragg incidences, and it's just everywhere. So then they run psyops out of there. They have a psychological operations department. So all those things are possible. So to me, it looks like that was what it is, right? That the guy, whatever, he's a sleeper cell. He's been here. Everyone said he was acting normal up until a couple months ago, and then all of a sudden he got radicalized, and he went and killed 12 people with his car. Everyone knows by now. On New Year's on Bourbon Street. And it's interesting because usually there are barriers in place specifically on Bourbon Street at any time there's any kind of festivals or parades or any kind of anything, right? And you would think it just happened in Germany, right? An Islamic terrorist ran over a bunch of people on a Christmas Day parade.
Okay.
So you would think you should be heightened a little bit, right? Especially since the open border, all of the rhetoric, the wars that are going on in the Middle East, the tensions between Palestinians and Israelis, even in America, all of these things, right? You would think you would do all of the things that are possible to protect your people. Someone gave a stand down order. They said that they decided not to use those barriers, the metal barriers that they put up. Why? They made them last year. They made them during Christmas.
Yes.
For some reason, somebody told them to tear them down. So that's what made me think that this guy had some kind of help from inside the government, right? Also, they found a bunch of IEDs around that area, right? And the first initial report was that 2 men and a woman were seen hiding these IED bombs around on video camera. Then, fast forward a day, they said, no, never mind. He's working alone, all by himself, right? Completely alone. The IED bombs, no one's talking about those anymore. No one's talking about the 2 people and the woman that were seen planting the IEDs. So that's what tells me that this was actually a real terrorist attack because they got ahead of the narrative, right? The narrative came out first. Those first set of facts are always what's true because you can't stop that. You can't stop the eyewitness testimonies. You can't stop the initial flood of facts. Then they get the facts and they tie them up in a little bow and they change the narrative, right? And then now we have the new narrative.
And then they have the sleight of hand. Yep.
Right, exactly. And then they can interject whatever they want. Right now they're trying to make it about something else. Always about this or that. It looks like that was a sleeper cell. He was working with a bunch of other people, and they were planning a massive attack on that day. Thank God it didn't go through the way it was planned for whatever reason, right? Now, fast forward a couple hours later, we get the whole Tesla truck in front of Trump Tower.
Yes.
Right? Now, initially, it looked like these guys were connected, right? Because they both were at Fort Bragg at the same time. They both were deployed to Afghanistan at the same time. I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that they were in the same unit or anything because this guy who did the car bombing, supposedly, was a Green Beret. He was a fucking badass, bro. This guy was a special forces operator for like 20 years. Okay, this guy wasn't some schmucko in the fucking military. This guy was Rambo. That's how he was been called by his friends and people that knew him.
Holy snap.
A fucking Rambo, patriotic American, loved his country. How do you not love your country if you're risking your life with special forces? You think there's not one Democrat that's a special force operator. I'm telling you that right now.
Yep.
These guys are patriots, bro, 100%. So to me, it looks like they found the most patriotic person that they could find, right? Maybe he was having some mental health issues, right? But it sure seems that they're trying to paint this guy as a patriot. So if he was so patriotic and he loved his country so much and he loved Donald Trump so much, why did he rent a fucking Tesla truck and park it in front and kill himself and try to kill as many people as possible, it looked like, right? So I don't know, man. And now there's more information that comes out. The guy was found with a gunshot in his head before the truck blew up. So the story goes, I guess, that he was sitting there, I guess blew himself off, and then the timer was detonated to go off at a certain time. And what's also interesting is that this guy was a special forces guy, right? So if he wanted to make a bomb, he would have made a fucking bomb. That was not a bomb. It was like fireworks. It was some gas cans. You know what I mean? And he picked literally the worst car to do it on. You know, the Cybertruck is like a tank. So that was not the smartest move, right? If you're a special forces guy, you're trying to kill people. Why all of a sudden we haven't seen a manifesto? We haven't seen any reason why he would do any of this. Supposedly he broke up with his wife a couple days before this happened, right? So, but also all of this information is leaking on him. They're leaking his fucking text messages between him and his girlfriend. Like, they got that already. We haven't known one thing about the guy that tried to shoot fucking Donald Trump, but all of a sudden we're getting all this information about these two fucking jabronis, right? So that also tells you that it's being planted, right? This is the information they want us to see. They want us to know. Right, and it just all seems too cookie cutter perfect. Now you got this lady from the New York Post looking inside this guy's house from New Orleans. The terrorists, they let her in the house.
MTV crib style freaking interview. This is where he did the bombs. This is where he read the freaking Bible, or whatever. This is this man. I'm like, oh, bro.
But were you able to see Crooks' house? Remember they said it was all tidied up and they cleaned it up. Why couldn't we see his house? Why couldn't we see Dylan Roots, the guy that was going to kill him at Mar-a-Lago? We couldn't see his car. We couldn't see nothing.
That reminds me of like the coincidence of all the media actually covering Trump's shooter while he was shot, but no other rally ever.
Come on, bro. Come on. Yes. This is getting too easy, bro. You know what I mean? Because this is what full panic mode looks like. Now they're trying to, because I think the original terrorist attack was real, the one in New Orleans. But they don't want the focus to be on Islam, right? They don't want that because they've been telling us white supremacy is the biggest issue in this country. White supremacy. What was the first thing Lloyd Austin did? The Secretary of Department of Defense. The first thing he did when they took office was give a stand-down order to all active duty members. Why? Because they had to root out white supremacy. Because people were sharing memes. Because white people were sharing memes. I don't hear no stand-down order going on now about Islam. Apparently, we have a huge Islam problem. I don't see one Trump supporter running around trying to kill Americans. Oh, now we do. As soon as an Islam guy killed a bunch of Americans, now we can change the narrative, bring it back to white supremacy.
It very fast.
Very fast. We got to bring it back to white supremacy. We got to bring it back to domestic terrorism is the biggest thing of white supremacy.
Mass shootouts and gunpower.
Come on, bro. And now this guy was a fall guy. What it looks like to me is that they killed this guy. They put him in a cyber truck. They fucking set the destination to Trump Towers. They set the fucking bomb to blow up. That shit drove itself right to fucking Trump Tower. The only car that does that, right? That would hold a bomb like that. So that's why they probably had to pick that car because it was the only one that was viable for the fucking thing they needed to do. And it was obviously a message. Fuck Elon Musk. Fuck Donald Trump, right? So obviously we're dismantling this shit so fast now, bro. You know, and then people are forgetting about the whole Luigi Laglione thing, right? This is another distraction from that. As soon as we started getting close on,
I heard he's got a big lawyer trying to get his license in New York, and this lawyer allegedly has never won any of his over 400 cases.
Wow.
Now, so I heard some shit is cooking up on that side, and you also mentioned that something else that came out out of Texas Fort Bragg, which was the cell phone tracking from crooks.
No, it was actually from Dylan Roof, the guy that tried to kill him at Mar-a-Lago. His cell phone was at Fort Bragg several times. So what's going on over at Fort Bragg? We need a fucking investigation over there ASAP, bro.
Word.
I'm just thinking about the last couple of years, all the fucking shit that's coming out over there. People got missing, people turn up dead, people don't know. Like, there's rape cases going on, bro. There's really crazy shit going on over there.
As we speak, there's things developing right now. There was an incident in New York, 11 dead people shoot out the Queen's Club. There's a plane crashes in California. The first 3 days of the year have been impacted, at least in the United States, with a lot of terrorism and a lot of terror attacks. However, you said something that everybody wants you to talk about, bro, and because I think it's extremely important. Now, it doesn't take away that you and I are Trump supporters, but now that Trump is going to be in power, every move has to be, I want to say, articulated, and we have to see this, like you always say, from a 50,000 foot view from the sky. Bro, how did Elon Musk change his tone?
Okay, so the whole thing started with this H-1B1 visa argument, right? So Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, everybody knows who they are. They're going to be heading the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. But for some reason, they felt they needed to talk about immigration, which is not their job to talk about immigration. They can have an opinion, sure, but they're not being hired to do that. So the argument started with Vivek pretty much said that we need to continue the H-1B1 visas, which, if for people that don't know what that is pretty much we take the top talent from around the world, the smartest people. This is what it's supposed to be anyway. We get the smartest people from around the world and we bring them to our country and we train them, and usually in technology and medicine. That's why you see a lot of Indian doctors, you see a lot of Indians in the field of technology and all, and nothing against them. I'm not saying anything. That's just what it is, right? That's mostly they come from India and Pakistan. That's where these H-1B1s are coming from. So Vivek was saying that we need more of that, really, because America's culture has become so lazy that we're not producing geniuses anymore. That we highlight the captain of the football team and the prom king and queen, but not the math genius. You know, like how they do in China and other countries. You know, those are the cool people in their culture, and whatever. But I mean, I understand where Vivek was saying, what he was trying to say, but it came off very like, oh, Americans are too dumb and lazy to do this job, so we got to go get the talent from elsewhere. That's what it sounded like, essentially, right? And people were rightfully pissed. MAGA is rightfully pissed. You know, America First is rightfully pissed because, we were told that it's America and Americans first, right? And that doesn't mean just for the shitty jobs. That means for the good ones too.
Yes.
More so for the good
Overall,
ones, right? And really what's happening is that these people are training, American citizens are training their replacements. So they get these people to come over here with these H-1B1 visas, right? Americans already have the jobs. They train them, and then all of a sudden you hear on the news a mass layoff happened over at Google or whatever. But Google's still operating. How are they operating when they just fired 500 people? Oh, it's because they got these guys trained up already by American citizen, and then they can pay them half the amount of money that they would pay an American. So it's literally the same thing. As the microcosm is the same. It's the same thing, right? Because we see it on a larger scale with the open border and how they're taking away decent paying jobs, lowering the wages, right?
On different tier levels of the
and
economic
it's all
gap.
the same shit, right? So and then that really, but so then. Interesting enough, people started digging on the H-1B1 visas and how it's being used and manipulated. And maybe, to Elon Musk's credit, maybe he didn't know exactly how bad it was. But I find it interesting that Elon is so aware of all of the other things, that how the government doesn't work at all, but he thinks that it was working perfectly for the H-1B1 visas. No, Elon Musk owns a technology company, owns SpaceX. He wants the brightest people to come here, and he wants to pay them half the price. That's what it is, bro. Like, you know what I mean? We don't need to act like it's anything else, and so a lot of backlash came their way, and I think for good reason. We stood our ground. We're not going to let these fucking tech bros come in here and change MAGA into something that it's not supposed to be. Because then that would be giving the black pill accounts all of the ammo they need.
Already did, yes. Oh,
they
don't shut up about it, bro. Oh,
they think that Elon Musk is going to be. Listen, they don't know Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not going to give the spotlight to anybody else. Okay, first of all, he's not going to let anybody else make the decisions around him. Okay, you can influence him. You can maybe this way, because at first Trump was against the H-1B1 visas because he understands how they were being used, how they were being weaponized. Right now, he's saying that they are a good idea. Yes, in theory, they're a great idea. Right, to get this, we want Albert Einsteins and fucking all the, you know what I mean? All those people. Nikola Tesla was from Austria. You know what I mean? We want those people to come here. But now Elon has changed his tune because he got so much pushback from MAGA and the American Firsters that we did not give up, because he was saying that, I'm going to war over this. You can fuck your face. He was saying all this crazy shit, right? Like calling MAGA racist, essentially. And all these people on the left started coming into his defense. Right? All these people we need more. So it started to expose these people for who they are. No one ever Elon's not a conservative, okay? He's a liberal Democrat. He's always been that. Never said he wasn't that. He's just picking the winning side. And I think for Elon, a lot of people go, why is he in this? He wants to make money. He's the devil. He's the Antichrist. Bro, honestly, the man lost his fucking son, bro. He lost his son to the woke mind virus. You know what I mean? His son thinks he's a girl now. Like so this is personal for him. Do you know what I'm saying? So could you imagine, like, if I was the richest man in the world and I was a Democrat and I'm sitting back and I watched this whole shit happen, I watched my son get turned into a daughter because of the woke mind. You're damn right I'm going to use my money to join the side that's against it. So that doesn't necessarily mean his intentions are evil or they're dark. I think it's actually pure. Now, what he does in the end game of it, of course, he's a capitalist. He's a crony capitalist. He's all those things. He's going to try to get advantage. He's going to try to get a win. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he's on the right side for the right reason, I believe. But now we are seeing Trump maybe get slightly pulled in this direction, right?
That's what I was afraid of. Like, and you said in one of the posts that you posted on Instagram, and then I remixed it. Even Donald Trump can catch these words, bro.
100%. Anybody, especially now that he's in power, or he's going to be in power, we have to justify. We have to look at him just like we looked at Joe Biden. Do you know what I mean? Just because he championed some of the things that we champion, you know what I mean? And I just knew that it was so important that we had to get the administration that was in power out, that I'm going to support Donald Trump, you know, all the way, 100%. But now that he's won, he doesn't need that kind of support anymore. Now what he needs is a base that stays true to who we are, a base that stays true to the message, not to the man. We have to stay true to the America First message, not Donald Trump the man, because he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone in 2028, one way or the other, right? And this shit goes on. This shit goes on. We carry the mantle of what he started. Doesn't mean he's above reproach. Doesn't mean we can. Of course, we can criticize him, especially now. I just didn't want to waste time giving more fuel to the left while we're trying to win an election to be like, oh yeah, you guys are right. He did that. No, fuck that. We'll deal with that later.
We'll deal with that.
Get these pieces of shit out of office first. Now we can criticize and look into.
I think it legitimizes the way how democracy is supposed to be ran, because we're not a
100%.
cult, bro. We're not just following a man blindly. We are being critical about every move he makes, because he's representing every single one of us that voted for him. And even if I'm in a blue state, bro, even after that, I still don't think that me voting for Donald Trump here would change anything, because I live in a blue state. I would have to do it on a local level. However, think about all the episodes we've dropped on Paranoid Radio Podcast, giving his glorifying every single action he did for him to just let us down like this. So we have to be critical about it. Keep the same energy abroad. Yep.
100%. And, you know, but to Trump's defense too, we don't know how fucking hard this shit is. Do you know what I mean? Like this, but he probably had to make some promises in order to get the $250 million that he got from these people in order to win the election. So, you know what I mean? So sometimes you got to give a little to get a little, which is understandable, you know, and if he has to give a little on this H-1B1 stuff, that's fine, but we want to fix it. You know what I'm saying? We don't want just more of the same problem. And now that's why I said Elon changed his tune, because now Elon is saying, oh, we need to reform it. Now it's a broken system. What he would now, he clarified his position that the idea of the H-1B1 visa is dope. How it's being influenced and how it's being used is not, and that's true. That's what it is, right? So now what he's saying is that that businesses should incentivize American employees first, meaning that they should actually get a tax break for the Americans that they hire, and then they can go use the H-1B1 visa, but not for cheaper labor, because you're going to get the same, you know, you're going to get money from the government for hiring Americans. So either way, you're good. You know, the company's good. So we'll see where it goes from here. But it was good that MAGA stayed true. MAGA held its ground. MAGA said, no, fuck you. This is bullshit. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're the richest man in the world, you just got here, brother. We've been here.
Yeah, bruh. Yo, check this out. Okay, so tech pros infiltrating MAGA. You went a little bit over it. You still think that these guys are really trying to infiltrate the movement?
What I just think is that they are who they are. Do you know what I mean? They look at America as a country. They don't look at it as a country. They look at it as a business, right? And or as an idea. We always hear that America's an idea. America is a country, bro. We are here. We are citizens. We've been here. This is our country. This is where we live. We are the beacon of freedom all around the world. This isn't some place you just, you know, you get these ideas and, oh, let's try it. Because that's what we've been doing. We've been trying to open borders. We've been trying all these crazy left-wing ideas that are made in these think tanks, you know, in these universities are seeing where we have real world harm. You know what I mean? So I think that they're getting a real glimpse of what reality is, because these got billionaire guys, they live in these completely different worlds, you know, so they get these ideas and they think it's a great idea because it's going to make some money, but they don't understand the impact, you know. And Charlie Kirk was talking about how he's actually in a group text message with a bunch of these guys like Elon Musk and you know, a bunch of these tech bros, billionaires, and how they're actually open. They're just like, what is it? Like, why are we getting so much pushback? They actually just don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like the other argument of why the H-1B1 visas is bad. So they're actually in these group chats learning about what MAGA is really about and why we are against these things. So I'll give them credit for actually wanting to learn. And so you think George Soros is trying to learn from us? You think his door's open to ideas?
I was about to say that. I was about to say that.
So at least we got these guys. We're you know, they think they're molding us, when in reality we're molding them. We got them to spend $250 million so we could win. But they really thought they were going to help themselves. But they don't understand how strong MAGA is. That we don't even need Donald Trump anymore. You could take his ass out right now and we'd still be good. Do you know what I mean?
I think I don't need empower anymore.
100%, bro. And so they don't understand is that this took almost a decade to build, right? And it took this time to show what was right, what was wrong, who was on our side, who wasn't. And over this time, we have built this the right way. Now we have real life people saying, wow, you guys were right. We have validation now. We are actually here to stay. And so you're not going to come in here and I don't give a fuck how much money you spend. Not going to work with us. You can't lobby MAGA.
It can work.
We are the lobby of the American people.
It's almost in comparison to, for example, a white chick freaking screaming BLM that always had people catering to her. She has a chef at home, and she doesn't spend time with her kids because she has a nanny, trying to live at a low level life like we do in poverty sometimes. It's kind of like you're trying to but you can mold those people because they've been indoctrinated thinking that they are doing some type of justice for us poor people. However, now, what do you think about surveillance? Dude, January 20th is around the corner, bro.
Yeah, well, the surveillance and censorship, I could see, I'm thinking, why would they do this terrorist attack now? Obviously to cause craziness and to cause chaos and all this stuff. But really, I'm thinking of 9/11. The reason why they did that, right, was for the Patriot Act, so that they could pass the Patriot Act, that they could spy on American citizens legally, right? And American citizens begged for it. We begged for more security because we were so scared of Islamophobia and bin Laden, right? So I'm thinking that they're going to start hitting us with these terrorist attacks, mostly so they could pass new laws to spy on Americans, more so on social media, right? Because they've been trying to get all these new laws passed with more censorship, more, the European Union's passing all these. Pretty much, you can't say shit over in Britain anymore. You will end up in jail if you say anything online. So I think, how do you get that in America? You can't do that because of our Constitution is so strong. So the only way you could get to that would be to scare enough Americans into voting for something to do that, right?
So not a complete lockdown. Not like how the black pillars are saying there's going to be a lockdown before the 20th.
There's not going to be a lockdown. No, there's not going to be a lockdown. That's it. And even if there was, that's not going to stop January 20th. Nothing is going to stop the certification of Donald Trump. That goes down no matter if there's a war, no matter what. That is a constitutional duty of Congress is to do that, right? And right now we're seeing the speakership is going on right now as we speak. Right now it's going on, right? So we got to keep our eye on that because I could see, and I understand why the hardcore MAGA, the hardcore conservatives don't like Mike Johnson and all this stuff. That's fine. But you got to look at it as Mike Johnson was only working with like a 3-seat majority this whole entire Congress, right? That's not that's unheard of. No, that's the smallest majority ever in the history of Congress. This man had to be the leader. And it's really hard to wrangle everybody and get everybody what they want. And you know what I mean? We have all these different factions inside MAGA, inside the Democrats, all this stuff. So you can't have one. Now it's only one vote. He's got one vote. You can't lose one vote or we're not going to be able to pass nothing. So who else can we get that's going to get all the votes to be the speaker, also have the power to get everybody in line? And go. So what it comes down to is, what does Donald Trump want? Donald Trump won the mandate. He won the popular vote. He won all the swing states. He gets to pick his cabinet, and he should be able to get to pick his speaker. Because you know what? I'm sure he's making deals with Mike Johnson, just like Mike Johnson was making deals with everybody. If he's putting his backing behind Mike Johnson, that means concessions were made. That means he brought Mike Johnson into Mar-a-Lago, was like, listen, why should I back you as speaker? This is what I want. This is what you're going to do. And if you don't do it, you're going to get yanked. So this is, you know what I mean? So we got to just Trump trust, because other than that, who are we going to pick? And we got to get this shit done right now, because if we don't have a speaker, you can't do January 20th. You can't do January 6th. So that's what they want, right? So I know Mike Johnson's not the perfect pick, but he's what we got, and we got to keep it moving, bro. Really, we really do.
Yo, we went through every single one of the topics, bro, in less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
We are, because that's what it is. We're freaking good at what we do. Probably the most underrated and undiscovered show in the freaking planet, bro. But that's going to stop very soon. Something that you mentioned about England, I wanted to mention that to as a quick promo skit. Dude, I'm going to have a person that was actually arrested for publishing stupid, crazy stuff against the government in England on the show. He was also on the White Rabbit podcast, and he's going to jump on Paranoid very, very soon.
That's dope.
Yeah, dude. So there's going to be people inside in different countries talking about the stuff that's happening, bro.
Okay, and you know what? I think that's important because, Americans think we got it bad and, oh, my God, like, it sucks, like this and that. Bro, our Constitution has saved our fucking asses from being Europe, from being England, from being France, from being all of these other countries, right, that don't have guns anymore. They can't say what the hell they want. They don't have freedom of religion. All of these things have been stripped from them slowly but surely, and we have sat here and watched it, and we think we're so different. No, the tactic will be different for us because of our Constitution. That is the only thing that is saving our ass. But unfortunately, that's going to cause more terrorist attacks and more mass shootings to take our guns away, because that's how strong our Constitution is, that they have to do things like that in order to convince the people to give them what they want. That shows that we have the power. If they have to run psyops like this, that means that we are the one with the power. They're trying to take our power away from us and use it for what they want. But they are literally telling you that we have the power. by doing all of these psyops, by doing all of this, spending all this money on censorship and fucking this, because we have the power. American citizenship is the most powerful thing in the world. Our American passport is the most powerful passport in the world. If you get caught in another country, you got an American passport, boy, they're going to get your ass home. Because you're an American citizen, because they know what it means if you don't get your ass home, if you're held hostage, they're coming to get you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I know it's rough, it's hard, but at the end of the day, bro, being an American and being an American citizen is really a gift from God. You know what I mean? And we have to be thankful for that, especially during the holiday season, especially as we see all of these wars popping off, all these different places.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy, bro. And it's going to get crazier. And, unfortunately, the predictions that we made here were right. I wish they weren't.
I was about to bring that in. Yep.
Every single
one. Bro, you did an entire year with intense fire, almost doubling up episodes on a week. You did a week back to back, and then you would drop your own 7-minute skits just to keep the public, not only motivated, but also put a lens of truth on all the media, all the shit that people were getting fed.
Reality. Yeah.
And we went hard on the paint, and every single time that you forecasted something, unfortunately, you were right. Fortunately for us, right? But unfortunately for the people, for the victims, it's sad, bro. It's sad. Mass prayers and love and respect for the people that lost their family members during the New Year's. I know it freaking sucks, bro. But what final words do you have, Flash?
Listen, stay vigilant, man. This has been the message, right? Keep your head up. Stay out of cities. Do not go to that inauguration on January 20th in Washington, D.C. It's not worth it. Watch it on TV. It's not worth the risk, because I'm telling you, these people are not done. This is just warming up. They're just getting started. I fully expect there to be at least a couple more of these little terrorist attacks, killing some people here, killing some people there. Maybe we'll stop a few of them, all up until January 20th. And just because Donald Trump gets inaugurated, this does not mean it's going to stop, because I think now that when Trump takes office, he's going to have to do some crazy shit like a lockdown. But you know what? I'd rather him be in charge of it than the other side. You know what I mean? Because we're going to have to do something where we're going to have to find these people and we're going to have to root them out of our country. So whatever that looks like, it's going to get scary, bro. And it's going to look like Trump is an authoritarian and he's a totalitarian. Oh, my God, he's this, he's that. I don't know, man. Really crazy circumstances deserve a really crazy response. So
I see mass amounts of people leaving the state of New York and jumping on buses and trains, jumping onto this, I want to say, safe city for immigrants, which is LA. Guys, the more people here, the more risks there is for something happening or you being a victim of something. Keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you check out Flash _News1 on all social media platforms. Check them out on ParanoidRadio.com. And do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Thanks, Flash.
Boom.
Paranoid Radio.